Hunter Biden, the first son indicted yet again on criminal charges that could put him in prison for almost 2 decades. The new charges filed late last night, 3 felonies and 6 misdemeanors related to unpaid taxes, are in addition to federal firearms charges in Delaware, which allege Hunter broke the law when he lied on his gun application about being a drug user back in 2018. The same gun his brother's widow turned girlfriend ditched for him in a dumpster. Oh, poor little Hunter. It was just this past summer that his sweetheart deal blew up in his face that would have shielded him from serving a single day behind bars if not for Judge Norica, who refused to sign off on the blatant disregard for American law, as well as intrepid House Republican investigators and brave IRS whistleblowers who sounded the alarm on the alleged Biden family corruption during a House Oversight Committee hearing back in July.
The Justice Department allowed the president's political appointees to weigh in on whether to charge the president's son. After United States Attorney for D.C. Matthew Graves, appointed by President Biden, refused to bring charges in March 2022, I watched United States Attorney Weiss tell a room full of senior FBI and IRS senior leaders on October 7, 2022, that he was not the deciding person on whether charges were filed. That was my red line.
Think about it. If Hunter's last name was anything but Biden, he'd already be behind bars. And if his dad wasn't a Democrat running for president, he'd also been charged long ago. This new 50-page plus Hunter Biden indictment is especially damning when it comes to Hunter's foreign business dealings, deals that only happened because of his father's position at the time as vice president of the United States.
President Joe Biden claimed his family didn't receive money from China. This was a lie. President Joe Biden claimed he never spoke to his son, Hunter Biden, about the Biden's family's shady business dealings. This was a lie. Now, Hunter Biden's legal team and the White House's media allies claim Hunter's corporate entities never made payments directly to Joe Biden. We can officially add this latest talking point to the list of lies.
Those web of lies laid out in this latest indictment shows Hunter hauled in more than $7 million in total gross income from foreign business dealings involving Ukrainian, Romanian, and Chinese entities. Interesting. China and Ukraine. What a coincidence. The evidence contained in this indictment were previously disclosed during that House Oversight Committee hearing that the fake news didn't even bother to cover. Bank records released by the committee found that payments to Hunter and his business associates from foreign entities exceeded $24 million. Here's IRS whistleblower Gary Shapley again. He's also testifying that now Special Prosecutor David Weiss did not have the authority to even bring charges against Hunter.
And it sounds like in this investigation to me, Mr. Shapley, that the prosecutors and the investigators were in agreement for most of the investigation, and then we get to October of 2022. I see Mr. Ziegler nodding his head. And that meeting is where David Weiss told you something. Is that right, Mr. Shapley? What did he say? Can you put your mic on there? What did he say?
Yes, he told me he was not the deciding person on whether or not charges were filed. He told us that D.C. U.S. Attorney had declined to allow charges. He told us that he had requested special counsel authority from Maine DOJ and denied that authority.
And was denied.
That's correct.
Were you the only guy in that meeting?
I was not.
How many other people were there?
There were 7 total people, including me.
And despite the recommendation to file charges against Hunter, someone stopped that from happening. I wonder who that could be. And don't tell me this is about a father protecting his son. This is about protecting his own behind, which was clearly on the line. And what these latest charges are really showing us once again is that our Department of Justice is compromised, and so is Joe Biden. Joe Biden knew his son was an addict. He used and abused Hunter just to make money. Joe Biden, tired of being in the shadows of Barack Obama, decided he wanted to get rich instead by selling the highest office in the land to the highest bidder, even China. Despite the money transfers, witnesses, and LLCs and more, Joe Biden continues to do the only thing he knows how to do: lie and lie some more.
President Biden, on Ukraine and also China, there's polling by the Associated Press that shows that almost 70% of Americans, including 40% of Democrats, believe that you acted either illegally or unethically in regards to your family's business interests. Can you explain to the Americans amid this impeachment inquiry why you interacted with so many of your son and brother's foreign business associates?
I'm not going to comment on that. I did not, and it's just a bunch of lies.
Didn't interact with many of their business associates?
I did not. There's lies.
And the poll that the reporter was referring to is right here. Only 30% of Americans, which includes Democrats, think Biden has done nothing wrong regarding Hunter's business dealings. And this was in October before these latest charges. So now that even Democrats are finally coming to the realization that Biden is corrupt, what's the next step here? Will Joe bow out so California Governor Gavin Newsom can finally step in and stop his shadow campaign? Or will they once again indict Trump on some nonsense to throw off the American voter like they've done before? I mean, please don't be surprised if that happens soon. I'm serious. Remember, House Republicans are finally moving toward a floor to authorize an impeachment inquiry against Joe Biden. But sadly, I'm not confident they'll even be united. They couldn't even impeach Mayorkas over his disastrous handling of the border, never mind a sitting president. But you and me, the American voter, we must hold Democrats responsible for running this country into the ground. People can now barely make their minimum credit card payments. They're literally taking money out of their 401ks, their savings, just to pay their basic bills. This is not by accident. They want you to be beholden, dependent on the government. It's a plot we know all too well. One my parents fled when they came to America. This is how it all starts, and we know how it can be stopped dead in its tracks. It's why they're so deathly afraid of President Trump, as they should be.